Hey, what's going on, everyone? Jorel.solis with Confidence Pest Control. As always, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in, listening to what I have to say. I hope I can bring you some value that can help you and your business grow and that you can start implementing today. With that all being said, today I'm actually talking about 5 things that I wish I had done a little bit differently. And I say that, kind of hesitantly, because everything that I've done is helped me grow. So I try to live with no regrets, things like that. But for the sake of the video and for the sake of those of you who are watching and trying to start your own business, here's 5 things that I would do differently knowing what I know now. And so hopefully that, these things can help you in your business. Number 1, that's your logo and branding. I talk about it in another video, and a lot of the things you've seen me talk about multiple times, and that's because it's the same things over and over. Just focus on getting a lot of these things right and everything else will come. But that being said, like I said in one of my other videos, I had a different logo, mostly you can see, sorry, but that's super simple. Confidence Pest Control. Before I had like a shield with like a line, like it was cool. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. And just like I said before, it was just, it worked at the time. It was just something to get me started. Right. But looking back now, and funny enough, I've gotten a lot of compliments on my new logo. Over the past few weeks, I've had quite a few people tell me that they really like it. They asked me if I sold my hats and my shirts and things like that. I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool that y'all like it. But again, it was super simple for me that what I did, because I paid somebody to create me a logo. I liked them, didn't love them. And then, I went into, I think Canva or something, and I was just messing around, trying to figure out a logo, and I wanted to make sure that you didn't see just a picture and think, okay, like that, oh, I know what they do, because mine was a shield with a lion. Nobody would know that was pest control, right? So I went ahead and made that switch, and so all I did was just keep it the letters, the name, and I don't even have an actual logo as far as like a symbol. It's just, this is it right here. You can see it. Confidence Pest Control. Sorry, dirty hat. But that's all it is. I made that switch, and I really love it now. It's going to be, as long as Confidence Pest Control is around, this is the way the logo is going to look. I'm happy with it. Again, looking back now, I would love to have started with it from the beginning, but it happens the way it happens. But my advice to you is really take a look before you start, or even once you have started, because doing a brand change later on it can be a pain in the ass. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm luckily for me, I take pride in jump and making things happen kind of quickly. I realized that wasn't going to be the forever logo, and once I found it, I made the change. I did it while it's still just me, instead of having technicians, and a team. I did it right now, so it wasn't a big deal. I was able to, just some shirts. My wife got mad at me because there was a lot of shirts that were wasted, but I still use them for work shirts and things like that, or for yard work and stuff. But yeah, it was, I made the change, and it's here to stay. But looking back, I wish I had started from the get-go. So for all of you, again, I just highly recommend you find something that you really like, something that you're okay with. And if you're going to use it, stick with it. If you do decide that you're going to make a brand change, do it earlier rather than later, because it will be a pain in the ass later on to do all the stuff that's going to be a brand change. Just, find something, stick with it is my recommendation, but find something you really love that really resonates with you and your values and everything that you do. Mine is super simple. Everything I do is safe, simple, and effective. And it's safe. It's green, so it looks natural, friendly. You got to think about all those things. If you have red shirts, that kind of just screams like stop or danger, things like that. Whereas, the green field for me, and I've looked it up, I did some research on it. It's a little bit more, earthy nature, just safe, for lack of a better word. And then you see the name, so it's effective as far as telling you what I do, and then it's super simple as it's just the name. So that's all I'm about right there, like that's who I am. So it works for me. Find something that works for you, stick with it. All right, number 2, and this is a big one, especially for all you guys who are just starting out. It's spending money on SEO and marketing companies and things like that. Now, I'm not saying don't do it by any means, or by all means. If you can afford to do it, if you have some capital, if you've saved up, and you just flat out can afford, anywhere from $500 to $1,500 a month to pay for an SEO marketing team and things like that to handle your marketing, then absolutely, there's some great ones that are going to really just shoot your stuff up there. It's going to be up there at the top of Google. It can be very, very effective. The only thing is it can be pretty expensive, because that's, not $500 to, $1,500, a year. That's a month. And so, a lot of us don't have that when we're starting out, and we're all there, so I get it. But, I know I did, first, for a few months, maybe not my first year, but maybe, just after my first year, because I'm into next year will be full 3 years. So I'm in year 3 right now, I guess. But that very first year, later on down, at the end of the first year, I had hired a company. I won't say their name or anything, but I realized pretty quick that it wasn't going to work out. They had a lot of turnover. And if you got a lot of turnover in your business like that, then I can only assume, nobody's able to really focus on me and my company. And so I knew pretty quick that it wasn't going to work out. So I fired them and moved on, and I've been all right. But there's so many ways that you can grow. And yes, having a digital presence is very important. Having SEO is really a game changer. But at the end of the day, you don't need it in order to grow. And some of these marketers, they might tell you differently. And I'm not saying that you don't need it. I'm just, in the beginning, you might not need it. Once you get to a point, once you have a few hundred customers, I would recommend going ahead and looking into it. And then with that, I really recommend doing your research, and really figuring out and making sure that it's a good connection and that it's a good relationship between you. Because a lot of these SEO companies, they're not going to tell you about all the bad things, that they do. They're going to obviously, tell you all the good and fluff it up, and how they can, get you, 10x people looking at your website this month, and how they can just improve everything for you, make sure you're top 3 and things like that. But at the end of the day, if the phone's not ringing with quality leads, then you're paying them for nothing. I mean, because you don't want to just sit here and say, get these really, really crappy leads, or the phone, or worse, the phone's not even ringing. So again, do your research when it comes to your marketing teams and things like that. Find somebody who really understands the SEO, because there's a lot of people that'll just say, "Oh yeah, I can do that for you," and they can manage your Google business profile and just very, very simple things that you can do on your own. So again, just find a really good marketing team whenever the time comes. And do your research, really make sure and dig in and dive in to make sure that they can help you out in the ways that you need to be helped. And that's typically, making the phone ring with quality leads that you can convert into paying customers. I had the company, and again, I was just it just wasn't worth it for me. And so you can get there. You'll get eventually. I definitely recommend it, but in the beginning, you just don't. It's not necessary. Go knock on some doors. Go do traditional marketing, things like that, and you can easily grow. Get you a couple hundred customers, and then you can start focusing on maybe some digital aspect, but, use all the free things that you can, because, I mean, why not, right? These are free ways to get in front of people and to get those conversions. And yes, you want to optimize your website, and people, come in and find you easily whenever they just look up pest control, and all that can be done. But as you all know, reviews will get you ranked up there. I tell you that all the time. So get those reviews, do all the other things. And again, I'm not telling you not to get a marketing team. I'm just saying, make sure that you can afford them, and then make sure that that they're doing their job, because it's really easy to take $500, $1,000 from somebody and just tell them, oh yeah, it's going to come, and then nothing comes. And then, they're going to tell you it takes a long time, or it takes months and months, and you might put in, let's say it's $1,000 a month. Well, 6 months down the road, and you still, you've only gotten a couple calls. Well, I mean, that's $6,000 gone with nothing to show for it. So you want to make sure you get a good marketing company that can actually get you the results that you're looking for. Number 3, and just, this is kind of, it rolls right in from number 2. I mentioned it, door knocking, but I would have really focused a lot more on traditional marketing. When I started, I wanted to be one of the big guys quickly. I was like, hey, I want to be like them. I want to make sure I come off that way. I want to grow. And if I do the things that they're doing, then I'll be where they're at. I can get to where they're at. Right. But, you got to take baby steps, and I learned the hard way, and I'm happy to be the one to learn those things so that I can help you guys and you can avoid that. And I'm not saying I'll never be like that, because I absolutely plan on being one of the big guys, especially in my area, things like that. But I wouldn't just go like, okay, I need that marketing company, and I need to, just really focus it on my digital side, and just, I would just pump the brakes, slow down a little bit, and go just hit the pavement, man. Knock on doors all day long. You have plenty of time when you first start. That's the one thing that you have in abundance is time. So knock on doors. And then I would also, use some money and buy some door hangers, again, so that you can get in front of people. And I don't know the statistic. It changes, every year or so, but, people need to see you and your business 9 times before it makes an impression on them. Sometimes they say it's 7, sometimes it's 9. It could be up to 40 times. I'm not sure what the actual scientific, and the numbers are behind it, but it's repetitive. They need to see it. If they see, again, I come home and there have been plenty of door flyers and cards on my door, and I'm thinking about it right now. I don't remember any of them. No clue. I have no idea who they've been, and I'm not purposely doing it. But if I'm that way, I can only imagine a lot of other people are the same way. They don't sit there and say, "Oh, I got to keep this. I got to keep Confidence Pest Control, save it to my memory, and always remember that." That's just not how it works. As much as we wish it was, but if you had that, that door hanger, and then they saw you on Facebook, every week, once a week. And then they saw, yard signs from their neighbors that had your name and your logo and your brand, all that stuff. Those are just impressions on the customers and potential customers. So you want to have multiple impressions on everybody. Let them see your truck. That's an impression. When they see your truck driving down the road, oh, hey, Confidence Pest Control. That's an impression. And then they see the door hanger. Hey, that's another impression. And then they see the yard sign in 3 different, of their neighbors. That's 3 more impressions. So you're looking at 6 impressions right there, I believe. And then they see you on Facebook. Once a week you post in the neighborhood group that they're in, or maybe just they see you somewhere on Facebook and they're like, oh, okay, this guy's everywhere. Well, now all those impressions, now it's there in the back of their mind. And so they don't need you, but whenever they do, You've made so many impressions, not just a impression, but you've made so many impressions that whenever the time comes that they do need your services, now that you're top of mind because they've seen you over and over and over. And that's the name of the game. Just staying at the top of mind for all these customers and potential customers, just to stay there so that whenever they do need you, you're there. They can give you a call, or they know who to call. They're not sitting here Googling pest control near me. They're Googling your specific company. And then when you're the only one they're looking up, you're the only one that's going to call. And now all you have to do is just answer the phone, bring them some value, and deliver. It's super, super simple, but it goes back. It is a process. So make sure, again, if I were to go back, I would do a lot more door hangers. I would do a lot more yard signs. I would, things like that. And I say that, I'm sorry, I'm reading something, but just little things like that. Put the cards on all the doors 1 week, and then 2 weeks later, come put door hangers on all those same doors. You don't just move on from one neighborhood just because you didn't get a phone call. Again, like I said, I don't read those. I'll look at them, and I've got a basket that's right there by my front door that I put my stuff in. A lot of times I'll put it in there until I clear it out. But, if I were to see one that caught my attention, and I probably wouldn't think anything of it, but if I saw it again, 2 weeks later, I'm like, okay, I remember this one. And if I saw it again, on Facebook, okay, again, it starts building those impressions. And so then, whenever it's time, I give them a call. Same thing with all those other potential customers with you. So just hit the neighborhood. Come back in 2 weeks, hit the neighborhood. Come back in 2 weeks, hit the neighborhood. Continue to work on them. Offer free services to people in the neighborhood and get them, say, hey, I'll give you a free, or I'll give you half off, something like that. Can I put a yard sign in there? And yeah, for sure. People are happy to help they're happy to help entrepreneurs and people that are growing their business. You're doing something for them. They're going to do something for you, especially whenever you offer it at a discount or free, or you do something really just above and beyond the law of reciprocity. You do something for them and not looking for anything in return, but just by human nature, they're going to say, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, go ahead. Put the yard sign out there. That's fine. So, do things like that. And real quick on that, I see different yard signs all over the place, in any neighborhood. I'm sure all you guys do too. And you can have the big old, like 2 foot by, 2 foot or 2 foot by 3 foot yard signs. That's great. Or you can just do a little, 4 by 6, or maybe like a 6 by 10 or something. I'm not sure. Just a little smaller card, a little bit bigger than a note card. And one of the things I will say on those, man, there's a company that I see in, around town, and they have, yard signs, and they have their name and their number, and they just have so much on it. I mean, it's from top to bottom. It is covered in words and numbers, and I don't know what any of it says. I don't know what it is. I don't know what company it is, because I see that, and I'm just like, that's a lot, man. That's way too much for me I'm driving by. I'm not going to sit here and try to take the time to read all that. So, I mean, you don't have to go over the top with it. It could be as simple as, a square, a rectangle sign with your name, your obviously your business name and your logo, a phone number, and then just put like pest control, or, like spiders, scorpions, mosquitoes. I mean, something simple. And you can have different times. Like in the summertime right now would be a great time to have a sign that said mosquitoes. It doesn't have to say a whole lot more, just the number and mosquitoes, and then your business name. You're not doing too much for that person as they walk by. They can, okay, mosquitoes. They think about it. And then the next day when they walk by, okay, they see it again. I saw mosquitoes. And then when they see those mosquitoes, now they give you a call. But when you have so much written on them, it's a lot, man. It just takes away from you. And again, this is my opinion. I see those signs and I'm just like, man, like that. I'm not going to take the time to read all that. Like it's just a paragraph on a sign of, of what they offer and things like that. And it's just too much. So main focus on this one is really just, I would have focused a lot more on yard signs and traditional marketing, and then leaving those cards in the neighborhoods multiple times. Come back multiple times, make multiple impressions, and you can set yourself up for success like that. And then moving on straight into the next one, number 4. and kind of with traditional marketing and everything like that. And I talked about having the digital presence, but Facebook, man, you guys, I can't stress this enough. Get a good Facebook, create a good Facebook page. If you're not good about it, if you're not good at that, have, your wife or your husband or your sister or somebody who might be decent at it, create your Facebook page and then just post on there regularly. I would recommend posting at least once a day, and then joining your local groups in your community. If you're in a neighborhood group, join that neighborhood group. Find other groups. Just go on to Facebook and look up a bunch of groups in your or in your town and in your service area, and join those groups. It can be a lot. I'm not gonna lie. You see those groups and there's just lots of posts and there's a lot going on, but they can also be very, very valuable. I've had at different times I've had a lot of success. And you're gonna learn. You'll see as time goes on. Some groups you do more. You're gonna have more success. Some I've posted in and I've never got a like or a comment. Others I've got 40 likes with a lot of people commenting, and I get 20 customers out of one post or something like that. There's other groups that I've posted in that nothing, and that's just the way it goes. My feelings aren't hurt about that. It's just the way it goes. But I recommend that you do that, and you do it often. Post once a week in those Facebook groups, and don't go around advertising everything. Don't get me wrong. You do want them to know that it's a pest control business or that it's whatever business it is, but you don't want to be too, an ad. You don't want to just everybody, thinking, that's all you're trying to do is sell and just sell. Because that's people, they can get, they don't want to be sold. They want to buy, but they don't want to be sold to. Right. So post pictures, friendly pictures, posts, ask questions in there, get engaging posts so that people are engaging. And whenever you say, man, is anybody else having issues with mosquitoes? And then you get 20 people that comment on, well, guess what? Now you've got 20 leads because you know that they're having issues because they just commented that they're having issues. So reach out to them each individually, message them and say, hey, my name is, John Smith. I saw that you, commented on the post and just so you know, right, I'm having the same issue, but I can also help you solve that issue. And just, create a great script that you can use and reach out to them, because it's not a hot lead, but it's a lead nonetheless, right? It's a warm lead right there. Well, maybe even a cool lead, but, again, they're commenting, get some engaging posts, things like that. I recommend that you do post on those Facebook groups. Again, once a week. Right now I've got a company here, a brand new pest control company, and all they do is just day after day after day after day, and they'll post, a couple times in that same group, like once or twice a day. And it's just too much. It's overkill. They're definitely trying to sell, and they're trying to get customers it's just, again, I'm not saying not to do it. I recommend that you don't do it. You don't want to freaking bombard these people. Facebook is a place that people go to escape a lot of this stuff. They want to laugh. They want to see funny things. They want to kind of get their mind out of what's happening around and focus on that little screen and just kind of get away from everything that's going on. And then when all they see is, 1, 2, 3 pest control. Hey, do you have mosquitoes? And then they scroll up a little bit. And then 1, 2, 3. Hey, do you have cockroaches? And then they scroll. And then 1, 2, 3. Hey, do you have fire ants? It can be a little annoying. They're just going to be like, dude, silence them and snooze them so they don't see that notification at all. But if you just post something genuine and you are, once a week, and you're not overdoing it, you're just saying, hey, you guys, I'm in the area. Dude, I introduced myself. I posted a picture of my family. Then I posted pictures of me and my son, like in our uniform, just, fun things that people can resonate with, that lets them know that I'm just another person trying to do good. Things like that, they really do make a difference. They help. And I've had some success with that. So, that's what I would do differently. Is I would go back to day one when I first started. I created my Facebook account, immediately, but I would really focus on posting once a day, just in the group. And remember, the biggest thing with that is you have potential to be in front of a lot of people. So bring them value. Don't just sit there and tell them, hey, we spray and we kill bugs. Like, don't do that. No, say, hey, this is how you can do it. This is how to do that problem. This is how you fix this problem. Are you seeing this issue? This is how you can fix it. And then what happens is when they see that you're just bringing value, then they'll say, hey, you know what? We're just going to call him. Instead of doing it, we'll just call him. But bring value to all the customers. Just like I try to bring as much value to you guys as I can, you need to try to bring as much value to the community as you can. And so when you post on Facebook, again, just bring value, and then it'll work its way out. It'll work itself out. It will. Just trust me on that. But again, stay consistent. Post once a week. Keep a schedule, and then just post once a week. Just make you a post, and every week on Monday you're gonna post. And because in Facebook you can post up to like 10 groups without being penalized. So post in 10 groups on Monday, and if you can get into 50 groups, that's awesome. That's 50 groups that's 10 posts every single day in different groups. And think of how many people are seeing that. And if you're bringing value to that, man, that's getting in front of a lot of eyes. And so that can really, really benefit you. So for me, I would go back, post daily on my Facebook page, your company Facebook page. And then I would also post something different in your group pages. Just try to bring some value to them, and try to get them engaging. But I would do that, and I know that I would be significantly larger had I been doing that from the get-go and just stayed consistent with it. Because I noticed every time I am consistent with, I get phone calls, I get messages, I get people reaching out. And the moment I stop doing it, is whenever, and the phone calls don't stop, but they definitely slow down, especially from the Facebook ones. And not all those Facebook leads are going to be great, but you get the phone ringing, and then you just got to turn the charm on, turn the salesman on, and convert those people into customers. All right. Number 5. This one, it can go into that as well, when it comes to posting and things like that. Get somebody on board as soon as you can, and not just as a technician, but get you an office person. Get somebody who can run your CRM and even maybe run your Facebook posts. Have them do that, because maybe it's not a lot of work. Maybe, like for me, I can schedule an entire month for myself, and I can, do my billing and all that. And I can do it all, within, a couple hours. It doesn't take me too long. But then, there's customers that reach out because they need to reschedule things, and, or just whatever the case may be, and so then it just takes more of your time. But man, imagine if you didn't have to do any of that, and you could just focus on growing and just selling and growing and servicing. Then you just have so much more time. You're able to focus on those things and know that everything else is taken care of. So I recommend that if your wife is going to be helping you out, and a lot of people, I say that just because I see it in the industry. I've got a bunch of buddies who are pest control owners, and all of them is their wife who's doing the admin, because why not? They're trying to help us. They want to see us grow, and a lot of times they're a little bit more organized than all of us. So they're the clear choice for the job. But maybe you don't have that, maybe you just don't. Maybe you're not married. You don't have a sister. You don't have a friend, who can do it. And if that's the case, I get it. You got to do it yourself. But as soon as you can, even if it's just part-time, just like, hey, just 4 hours a day, just from 8 to noon or something like that, I would recommend that you get somebody on board as quick as possible. And admin, and specifically admin, not technician. You go out there and do that work. Go out there, sweat, build the business, but get somebody in that admin role so that you don't have to do it. They can take over, and you're just good to go. My wife is slowly, she started taking over for me. She's doing my scheduling. I still do the selling, but I want her to be able to do that as well. When that way, the phone calls don't have to come to me. She can answer them herself and take care of all that. But I highly, highly recommend that you get them on board, get them trained up, and let them work. People, they enjoy doing something like that. A lot of people just want to have purpose and to be appreciated. So find somebody that you can have do that work for you and do it, because it's going to save you. So you're going to get some time back, and you're going to get away. Me personally, I don't like doing the admin stuff. I don't like to have to collect. I don't like to have to do all that. So, now that my wife's helped me out, I can just rely. I don't have, it's so nice to not have to deal with it. And anybody else who's been on here, they can tell you the exact same thing. And shout out to Jason, he's big on that. He was like, hey man, you really need to do it. You really need to do it. And I'm like, yeah, it's hard to let go. A lot of us, it's hard to let go, and cause it's our baby. We want to control everything, but let somebody else take over the admin work so that you can really focus on servicing, and so that you can focus on selling and growing the business. But, looking back now, I wish that I started from the get-go, and I'm like, hey, I told my wife, hey, you're going to start doing all this, and you're just going to do the scheduling. You're going to do all this from the get-go. It would have saved me time. She'd be further along. She would know exactly what was going on, like all that good stuff. And I just know that I would have had more time to be able to grow and things like that. But it's all right. It doesn't take me long, but for you guys, again, I'm trying to help you out. And so the sooner that you can get somebody on as your office manager and someone to do all your CRM scheduling, and if you can get them to do your Facebook posts as well, the better, because now it's just something off your plate, but it's still getting done. And so, which gives you more time for everything else. So those are the 5 things that I recommend, or that I should say that I would do differently if I were to start all over. And for you guys, that hopefully you can take some of that and use it in your business. But real quick, I do have a bonus tip, number 6, and this one's just, it's not too big of a deal, but at the same time, it does make a big difference. And that's just getting your truck set up the way that you want, and kind of how you want it, and the most effective way to set up your truck. So for you guys, some of you have seen, maybe, I'm sure I've done a video, but when I first started, I didn't have any money. So it's not like I had a lot of money to go into buying, all kinds of really cool things for my truck. Now I went to Lowe's. I got these 2 big boxes of Husky boxes for like $99 a piece. I had a buddy help me. We just put some plywood together. We drilled those holes into the buckets, or into the boxes, and we bolted them down to the plywood. So I had storage right there, and I could put my everything in the bag that like I needed. It was effective. It worked. It was just fine. I had no problems with it whatsoever. I just wanted, it was good, but it wasn't great. Even initially, I was on the fence whenever I first started. I wanted to keep it super simple with the backpack, but I was told, my mentor, he was like, hey, you're going to need a power rig. You're going to need a power rig. He would tell me, honestly, I don't need a power rig. You don't need a power rig to do pest control. But, I was told I did. And even though I had gone years without doing it, I listened to him. It's $1,000 that I went and spent on a used power rig. I used it like twice, it it wasn't worth it for me. It was more headache and hassle than anything else. And I had to. It was a heavy son bitch too. So, I was over there taking out my truck, or taking out the box and drilling that in there, setting that up in there, and it could only fit one box in there. So it was just, I've done a whole lot when it comes to my truck setup. Now, even now, last night I stayed up until 1 o'clock just putting some rails. I have a deck system in there now, and I put some rails up on top. Again, not, I don't have any, a camper or nothing like that, just some rails that I can, tie my things that I need to that are going to be in the back. I can, tie them down so they're not going anywhere. It's a new truck setup. I'll do a quick video, maybe later on today, actually, on the new truck setup, but it's just those things like that, because once I put the deck system in, which I couldn't wait to get, and I finally got it. But then I realized that, I didn't have any space in the back for my backpacks, for my mosquito blower and my flow zone. So then they were in the back seat, just taking up so much room. My cab has been really, really cramped the past few weeks because, again, I just, I got the deck system, but I had to put everything else in the back. But last night, the railing that I ordered came in. I put that together. We put it up, and it looks good. I'm really excited to get to work and to just to have some more space in my truck for my backpack and my lunchbox, my coolers. It's hot right now, so you always want to make sure you got plenty of water. And so having that extra space and having that good setup is going to just make everything just easier during the day for you as well. Having I like to have a clean truck. I like to have a very organized truck. And lately it hasn't been. And it's been just driving me crazy because that's not the way that I like to operate. But now that I've got that in there, I'm able to put everything else in the back, and I've got my space again. I can put my cooler in there. It's just back to being nice, clean. Everything's good to go. So I'm really excited about having that and having my space back. But that was just the last bonus tip, is just find a good truck setup that you like, and then just keep it simple. However you want to do it, keep it clean, keep it organized, but get a good truck setup, because for me, it's been a pain. I've just switched a few different things, but I'm finally, just making it work, and it just comes together over time. But I've got mine, and so if you guys are interested in, just let me know, and I'll make a video and see what you guys think. But that's all I've got for right now, man. I hope you all, you can take something that I said and implement it. Hopefully I brought you some value. And again, that you can use it in your business to help you grow, and you can avoid some of the mistakes that I made. If you guys have anything specific that you wanted me to talk about, you have any questions, I'm always very, very accessible. You can reach out to me anytime. It's not work for me. I love doing what I do. So give me a call. We can talk shop. I'll answer any questions you need or you have. If you guys want to call me, Google Confidence Pest Control. Whenever it pops up on the maps, hit the call button. I promise you, it's going to come through to me, and let's chat it up. I'm happy to talk to you guys about anything that you want to talk about. But if you just have any ideas for videos, any content, anything that you guys want to hear about, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to make that video and get you, the information that you're looking for. But do me a favor, you guys. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I can't believe I'm at 650. So I'm still quite a ways away, but it would really, really mean the world to me if you guys would like, comment, share this with other people, share it with somebody you know, because I'm trying to build this platform. I really want to do some great things in the industry and all the home service industries. But it would really mean the world to me if you guys took the time to, like I said, just like, share, comment, and absolutely subscribe. But until then, you guys, I hope you all continue to grow those businesses, keep grinding, keep getting out there and making it happen. It's hot right now, so stay cool. And as always, take care and stay confident.